Hey guys, so today we're starting our unit on saving and investing, and we're going to start with simple interest. Simple interest is the amount of interest that you can earn when you invest your money. In the case of simple interest, you're only going to earn interest on what you originally invest, and it doesn't matter how long you leave it in there for, you still only earn the interest on your original investment. So it's kind of the easiest way to earn interest, but it's not the best way. But it will help us to kind of understand what we're going to do later when we talk about compound interest. So the first thing I just want to show you is the formula for simple interest. And it looks like this. I equals P times R times T. So you're kind of wondering, what do those letters mean? I is your interest that you've earned. P is your principal, which is kind of just a fancy word to mean your investment. So whatever you invested is also called your principal. R is your interest rate. Now, what's special about this one is you are going to need to put it into decimal form to use it. So if it's in a percent, just change it into a decimal by dividing by 100. And last is T, and it is time. And in our case, it will always be in years. And if it's not, I'm going to show you how to change that after. So first thing, I'm going to show you how to do a quick example. Let's say you invest $2,000 into an account that earns 6% per year. If you leave it in the account for 4 years, how much interest will you earn? So what I like to do with this is kind of highlight those numbers that we need. So we invested $2,000 into an account that earns 6% and 4 years. So, and then I also like to write a quick list of what we have. So I usually write, what does P equal, what's R, and what is T. So in this case, P is 2,000. We get that right from the question. R is 6%, but remember I said you would need to change that to decimal form. So we're just going to take 6 divided by 100, which equals 0.06. And then T is our time, and it has to be in years. The question gives us 4 years, so it's already in years. And then once we have this, it's very easy to just plug it into the formula. I equals P times R times T. P is 2,000 times R, which we found was 0.06, times T, which was 4 years. And then we're just going to multiply it. So if you multiply this out, 2,000 times 0.06 times 4, you should get 480. Now what that means is we actually earned $480 in interest. I could then ask you how much is in your account now. And we could easily figure that out just by adding our principal plus our interest, which is 2,000 plus our 480. So if you want to know what's in your account now, it would be $2,480. Okay, now that's a pretty simple example because the time is in years. Like I said before, it's not always in years. So let's look at what happens when it's not. If it's not, you need to convert it. And the way we convert it is if it's given in months, we're going to divide by 12 because that will give us a number of months in years. Weeks we'll divide by 52, and if it's in days, we're going to divide by 365. Let's see how it works in a different example. So we're going to take our investment from above, which was $2,000. And the interest rate was 6% or 0.06. But in this case, we're going to invest it for only 90 days, which means it's not in years. So we need to change it. As in the box beside it, it says if we have it in days, we need to divide by 365. So what we're going to do is we're going to take those 90 days and divide by 365. So if you do that, I get 0.246 6 if I round it. So we have time 0.2466. Now in this case, we're able to, now it's in years, so we can actually do I equals P times R times T. So 2000 times 0.06 times 0.2466. And if we multiply that, we get $29.59 if I round it. Moving on to the next page, simple interest is great for finding our interest, but we can also use that formula to find the principal, the interest rate, or the time. All we have to do is just do a little bit of rearranging of the formula. We're not going to get quite into that, but I'm going to show you what you would get. So if you wanted to find the principal, it looks like this. P equals the interest earned divided by the rate times the time. Now when you do this, make sure you do rate times time together before you divide. Interest rate is our interest earned divided by our principal times the time. And if we want to find the time, same idea, interest rate divided by principal times the interest rate. Now just remember that T is in years, so if it's not in years, we have to change it. And R is in has to be in decimal form, so you have to change it. I'm going to do quick examples to show you how to use each one, and then you'll have time to do the practice stuff. So moving over here, let's find the principal. And again, I like to highlight you want to earn $50 on your investment. If you invest at 4% for 2 years, how much do you need to invest? So in this case, oh, I don't want that. Our I in this case is $50 because that's what we wanted to earn. R is our interest rate, 4% in decimal form. And then time is in years, 2. So we'll just use the formula that's over here to find principal. So 50 divided by 0.04 times 2. So I'm going to kind of do this in 2 steps because I want to make sure that you multiply the bottom before we do the division. So 0.04 times 2, 0.08, and then we divide. So you get $625, which means our original investment was $625. Moving on, let's find the interest rate. So again, I like to highlight you invest $3,000 into an account that earns $250 after 3 years. How much was the interest rate? Again, I'm going to write down what we have. So we have a principal of $3,000. We have interest that we earned of $250. And it was over 3 years. So we're trying to find out what R is. So we'll use the formula from above. R equals I over P times T. I is 250. We'll sub it all in. 3,000 times 3. which is 9,000. And 250 divided by 9,000 is 0.02777. It repeats, so I'm just going to round it. Now this is in decimal form. If you want to actually change it to percent, just multiply by 100. And if we do that, it will give it to us in our percent. So we get 2.78%. Okay, last one. We're going to find the time. So again, $4,000 earns 500, interest rate of 3.5%. How long did we invest our money for? So again, P, 4,000, I, 500, interest rate is 3.5%, which is 0.035. If we change it to decimal form, and we're going to find out what T is. So our formula says that T is equal to I, P times R. So 500 divided by 4,000 times 0.035. We'll calculate the bottom. And then divide, which is 3.57 years. So that's how you use your simple interest formula, and then the different ways that you can find not only the simple interest, but you can find your principal, your rate, and time. There's examples of all these types of questions in the practice. If you have any questions about it, please let me know. Bye, guys.